A wise man once said, I forgot the phrase. I was banged up with a life, it gave me lots of games.
Welcome, we are at Elysium in Edinburgh, in Leith. Dean Robertson, he used to be part of the Gym Owner Network. He's running a great business here. He's got Elysium SGPT, he's got an open gym vibe, and he's got CrossFit Edinburgh. So he's got multiple brands out of this massive 10,000 square foot place. But fundamentally, today we're hosting 45 coaches, led by my captain, Craig Massey. But today and this weekend, we have some incredible guest lectures. One would be this wise and wonderful Paddy. Paddy's amazing. He's also the head coach at March On Victoria.
That's correct.
He's also head of Gain.
Soon to be hybrid.
How many people on hybrid right now?
1,500.
Yeah, so he trains a lot of people, all right?
And about 400 on mass.
Yeah. So Paddy's the guy, and then the guy is Liam. Liam's he's
having a wee.
Yeah, he's on intern level today, so he's having to lay the chairs out. And then you've got C-Mac and Robbo from the Gym Owner Network team, and they're going to be adding some value tomorrow on all things personal training delivery. So across these next 2 days, we're going to be taking about 45-50 coaches on an incredible journey of education, critical thinking, and leveling up their coaching skill set to ensure that clients can get better value from their sessions and actually achieve results that us as coaches are trying to take them on a journey, but oftentimes there's missing links that are missing. So we'll bring you guys along for the ride. Let's go.
So we've been long overdue coming back to Scotland, so it's nice to see some familiar faces and some new ones. It's also nice to see some faces that I've got to know in those 3 years through our courses and what have you, and come and attending our event, so I thank you for all of your support. What we're going to teach today is the essence of what we do generally as coaches. What we found is that by delivering tomorrow separately in its own right, tends to become a little untethered, a little sort of floaty, because it never really connects to the stuff that we're going to go through today, which is why we've added this as the first day. As we'll go through today as well, we know that there are many other things to consider when we're thinking about movement coaching. This is the outcome, this is what we see as far as the physical embodiment, the expression on the gym floor, what we're trying to influence as coaches. But we also know that there are many more things in that client's life, in their context, that influence how this plays out. Not just between clients, but within the client on different days. And so I want you to continue to consider that throughout the whole weekend, despite the fact that we're focusing on movement today. Okay? It's not just movement.
Just a show of hands, who does small group PT here? Wow. Large group? Okay, nice. Just one-to-one? Nice, cool. So predominantly small group personal training. Who's from Scotland? I know this. What's really cool is just to see all you guys that come in just to like challenge yourself as coaches and just to try and learn as much as possible. Like I go back to myself as a younger coach. I used to go to all the seminars possible. So I was just hungry for knowledge and hungry for challenge. Right? And I think what you guys are doing today is perfect. Okay, so today we're going to talk about the squat. Obviously Mass has teed this up perfectly, talking about those 3 pillars: movement quality, optimal challenge, and function. The squat is not an exercise. The squat is a movement pattern. Okay? So our job as coaches is to figure out what type of squat and what tool we're going to use for that specific client when we walk through the door. Now, the majority of us said we do small group personal training. Perfect. So smaller group, a lot easier. When there's 30 people in the room, it becomes a bit more challenging when people are walking through the door to figure out what does that person need. Smaller environment, a bit easier. Okay? Does anyone do any online coaching? Nice. Online even harder. Why? Because you're not getting any feedback. Okay, so the mistake that I made when we were talking about our squats, when I first started coaching, is I wanted every squat and everyone to move the same. I was trying to fit everyone into a box. The light bulb moment for me as a coach is when I understood that not everyone has to move the same, but we can still achieve a squatting pattern. Okay, what's the number one goal of the squat? What we're trying to achieve? Shout it out, come on.
Go down, get back up.
Down and back up, perfect, I like that. Add on top, what did you say?
Triple flexion extension, hip, nice.
Okay, beautiful, I like that. So we're going up, we're going down. What's happening in the hips? Where are they going?
Hinge.
They're going down and they're coming back up. Right, so what we say is like vertical hip displacement. Fancy word for saying are the hips going down and are they coming back up? What would happen if the hips moved back the way? What does that become?
Hinge.
A hinge. Right, Paddy's going to talk about hinge today. I'm just talking about squat. Okay, so like I said, trying to meet the client where they're at. So what we're going to do, probably talk about 10 to 15 minutes about the squats, then we're going to move on to practical, and you guys are going to be coaching each other through. Sound good? Yeah. Beautiful.
Right.
Nice, and rest there. Cool. Coach's eye, what we seen? What we seen with Chelsea?
Very upright.
She's very upright. Cool, what else? So she's very upright.
She's got good mobility in her ankles.
Knees are going over toe. Beautiful. What else do we see? Just general good mobility. So obviously very good ankle range. Short femurs. What did we talk about short femurs before? Torso angle. What did we see over here? Remind me of your name?
Andy.
Andy. What did we see with Andy? It was pretty good. That thought it was going to be a lot worse for Yusuf.
Yeah, for an old dude, like it's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Broken both my ankles, so my ankles are pretty stiff, that's what I said.
So ankles are a bit stiffer?
Yeah, I can't get deep.
Nice. Did you guys see that? Look at his femurs. Not really that long, but what was his limiter there? More so his ankles, he's got very stiff ankles. Perfect. We'll do the same thing, see if it changes. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Good tempo.
That was a good tempo. Nice, and rest there. Beautiful, cool. Guess what we're going to do now? We're going to switch roles, okay? So we'll now go, if you were the observer, you're now going to become the coach and move around that way, okay? We're going to have another 10 minutes. Same idea, we'll do a reflection piece after. Right, like Mas was saying before, we don't always have to jump to that back squat. You can get someone loaded pretty heavy here with 2 kettlebells. Right, 2 32 kgs for guys, sets of 10. That's challenging. They're going to put the kettlebells down and go like, fuck, that was hard. That's what we're looking for. Why? We've set the client up for success. They're going to come in tomorrow and they're going to be fired up to do it again. Instead of going all the way to the end of the continuum like Mas was saying, we're not really setting them up for success. Maybe they can do the movement, but there's no progression. How long do we want to be keeping our clients for? 6 weeks? 6 months? A long
not
time.
forever.
Not forever. It's a trick question. Not forever, right? But a long time, right? It's not 6 weeks. It's not 6 months. It's 6 years and beyond.
In fact, step away, shows you squat. All good? See it? Step back to the chair. Use the chair as a marker just to sit on and then stand back up. What do you see? That's worked so well for me, by the way. Just do another 3. Think about the first KPI.
More hinge.
More hinge. So I've taken somebody that's got a naturally hingy squat and I've asked him to box squat because that'll make my life easier because I know he's not going to get hurt and it's going to limit your range. But what have I done? I've just fucked him up even more. Right? Thanks, mate. You see that? So by its very nature, the box squat sits a platform behind you. So in a large group scenario, it might be easy for us to go, right, they're safe. They're safe because I've limited their range for now, so they're operating in a range that they can manage. Okay? Good for us, because now we've got one less person to think about. But where's Alistair going from there as a progression? Because now his squat has become even more hingy. He has even more horizontal hip displacement. Okay? Now, I'm not saying the box squat is a bad exercise. It's not. It's an exercise that exists. What I'm saying is that it shouldn't be our go-to for somebody that's struggling with range, to give them a safe platform to sit on.
I expect for most of us today, the hinge is probably going to be harder for you to coach with your clients than the squat. So it might take a bit of time for you to figure out. Some of you might be really competent at coaching the hinge. If the goal on the KPI for a squat is vertical hip displacement, what's the goal for the hinge? Nice, cool. That's literally the most important thing. So whenever you're watching someone's hinge, always that's the first thing to look for. Is their hip going horizontal, or is it going a bit horizontal and then starting to go down, or are other things moving? And that's really the only thing that you need to focus on, is where's the hip going in relation to the body, and then everything else will follow. Because what might happen, which you'll probably see, is their hip starts to move horizontally, they get to a certain point, and then their hip no longer starts to move horizontally, and somewhere else changes, or somewhere else changes, okay? So that's the KPI that we're going to be focusing on.
It takes no skill, no coaching skill to beast somebody. None. Not a fucking dicky bird. We all know how to do that. Any man on the street knows how to get somebody in and drive some intensity. It takes real skill though to do that. And years to refine it. That's the quest. Through the empathy piece, through the getting beyond our biases piece, right, through everything that we're talking about, our communication, so on and so forth. They're all pieces of the puzzle. That's why coaching is such a cool vocation, because the work is never done. There's so much to learn, there's so much to refine over and over and over again. It's good stuff.
Is it also like you could think that you need to like get in there and, you know, give a million cues to be giving like value to them in their session when they've spent half an hour learning one exercise and you've missed most of the session with them? Like they actually came in for the workout and they didn't leave with that in the end. If you overdo it, you're like,
Been there.
Many times.
Again, getting clear on our role. So in that scenario on the gym floor, we're the provider of physical challenge, not the provider of knowledge. We've got a lot to learn together in your teams. We've got a lot of development to do in product and service. And so we need to act quickly. And that only comes from truthful, honest conversations. So whilst it stings in the moment, the ego gets a hit, of course it does. But tomorrow's going to be a lesson in hearing it, going, oh, fuck, that hurt. But then going, okay, take action, move on, refine. Get it slightly wrong, refine, move on, over and over and over again, okay? So there's going to be loads of that tomorrow, loads of opportunity for growth, loads of opportunity to implement a lot of this, okay? All the while remembering that we don't have to have it all figured out tomorrow, it's just part of the process. That's the journey of the process. When we set out to move forward, it's not plain sailing. There's a messy middle. right? That's the reality. So all the shit that we see on Instagram, all the cliches of, you know, the line of progression is straight up. It's fucking not. That's the reality. It's we see the world in a different light. How we saw the world before is based off of all the values and stuff that we've lived by for a long time. And now I've just gone, Ben, just have a look over there. You see that and you understand it. But your value system's not there yet. So you almost need to build a new house here. That's hard, right? Coaches, well done. That's tough, right? We've got this fake environment and we're trying to make it real. You were the first up. I appreciate you putting yourselves in the fire. Knowing that subsequent sessions, as we learn more and do this back and forth, they're probably going to get better, right? So you're probably in the worst position to go first. So I appreciate it. Lots of good stuff was happening in the room. Lots of coaching, okay, first and foremost. So the coaches were really grafting, they were really working hard. So now what we're talking about is how can we refine that coaching? So intentions generally were good, okay? But I think we can add and layer over a few more intentions and be clearer with our delivery of them.
It's very simple to just ask the question. So if we're going to do a lunge pattern and you're surrounded by 5 or 6 people that you've not met before, a good start point is to say, guys, are you familiar with a lunge pattern? And if yes, what would you normally do? Because Ben, as a point, probably isn't going to say, I do goblet lunges with a 10 kilo dumbbell. So we can skip some of that process and know where we're going. It makes that individualization piece a lot easier, rather than you having to try and make it up or figure it out from the bottom. Same as Jamie down the bottom, I think, with an inverted row. I said to him, can any of these guys do a pull-up? I said, I don't know. Ask them. Maybe we can find some good challenge in that pattern rather than an inverted row, which looked fairly easy. But just ask the question.
You're asking a lot of good questions in terms of, she said, I want this to feel like a 7 out of 10. So someone was doing a 3-point row there, looked fairly easy, and the first question Marina asked was like, how did that feel? Oh, it felt pretty easy. Also, it wasn't a 7 out of 10. Let's go and grab a heavier load. Simple.
Brilliant. Change coaches, same groups. We're going to change the challenge. We're going to go hinge and press. Okay? So that's going to be a superset. Hinge movement, press. You can choose whether it's horizontal or vertical. Coaches, you've got 5 minutes to get your head around it, and then we're going to start the 15 minutes.
It feels confrontational if we challenge each other or we don't want to offend each other. It's like if you've got the right team, the right head coach, the right coaches on the team, it's like there should be an acceptance to the culture, right? So therefore we don't need to be standing on eggshells thinking, oh fuck, I don't want to say this, or oh shit, I might offend him, right? It's like the team and also the members that come into your gym, if you market correctly and speak correctly and embody your values, it should be the right people you've got on the team, it should be the right members that you're coaching. So therefore, however you then portray the correct level of challenge should be accepted and should be welcomed so that everybody can move forward. So if you do feel like it's confrontational, you maybe need to look at who's on the team, what do we need to do to get them more aligned with the culture, and what members are we coaching and how do we get them more aligned with the culture. Yeah?
A fantastic book you guys can all read related to that is Radical Candor. It's very, very good.
So at the welcome, Blair obviously works at CMAX, so there was good feedback on his session earlier. We started a new strength block 3 weeks ago. On the Sunday, him and I were in the gym and we must have drilled the welcome for the Monday morning. How many times would you say? 20 times. So I would walk out the gym, out the front door, walk back in, and he'd go, what's happening, C-Mac? Nah, no enough energy, let's go again. Walk back out, open the door, shut the door, back in, until we fucking nailed it. And then on Monday morning, one of the best sessions that we can remember for a long, long time. Because we're obsessed with delivering the best that we could have on that day. If we don't do the work beforehand, can't happen.
similar to what C-Mac just said there. He was saying get obsessed with the product. Also get obsessed, sounds really wanky, but about your self-development, right? And your development, your growth as an individual. Because the better you can get, and the more awareness you can bring to your own head, the more you're going to be able to start understanding other people. And that's just going to elevate values, product, sales, everything else that comes with it. It starts with you. And you guys have already taken multiple steps, but coming here was one of those biggest steps, right? You're here to get better and never let that go. Like always pursue better.
You don't want to appear like you don't care or you don't know, right? I get it. I've sat where you've sat. Keep that. Keep that. But also then, step into that vulnerability. It's very important, or else we're not going to grow. To Liam's point about self-development. Said it before, get comfortable being uncomfortable. Okay. Thank you for all your time, thank you for your attention. I love that you've been here over your weekend, you've given up your weekend. It makes our hearts warm because you are the hope in this fitness industry. Not everybody gives up their weekends to come and learn like this. So, appreciate your time, your energy, your effort, your conversation. Let's keep it going. Thanks very much.